Here we go. We are back. We're talking about Bone Tomahawk. That's right. Bone Tomahawk. Bill?
Which apparently came out in 2015. I had no idea.
It's that old? Wow.
I thought it was a brand new movie.
I thought it was newer too. Wow. Bone Tomahawk. Bill, what you got?
So, I actually had planned to make us watch Scream 2,
Right,
but I
but
could
we
not
couldn't
find
find
it. And then, so I had David Arquette pulled up and saw this was on there, and that it was sort of a horror. So I was like, all right, that'll work. We'll just roll with that. It is not a horror movie.
It's not really a horror
little
movie.
bit of there's a little gore, but it's not really horror.
Right.
This movie, like the beginning, I was like, okay, here we go, baby.
Yeah.
Gore fest. Then it was just like, no.
Not at all.
Yeah, and then there was one part at the end where it's just like,
oh shit, it's getting real now.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, it's back. Oh
the man is
shit.
ripped in half.
Two cool parts at the end, gore wise, and then nothing.
Yeah, it never did it for him. But we'll get into it.
So, but yeah, I thought horror, and and there were some actual real actors in it too. It wasn't just David Arquette as the feature.
Yeah,
I was worried about that.
We start with David Arquette. Like it wasn't like with Demolition Man where you say, "Where is the wrestler in this?" We start with David Arquette's face
right away,
right there, as he, I wouldn't say sliced, more like slowly hacked away at a guy's throat.
Yeah, so
killed him.
So horrifying.
And we see him, and we see the clown from the other terrible movie we watched.
Yes, that's right.
What is that movie again?
Devil's Advocate? No.
Devil's Rejects?
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects. Bad movie.
Two guys that are just out in the middle of the desert robbing people.
Robbing dudes.
So he slices the guy's throat so he can keep him quiet and steal, but the guy ends up waking up because he did a bad job and couldn't kill him correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And so his friend, Buddy, has to shoot the guy who had a slit throat, and then they hear horses approaching. They think like, oh God, we just attracted trouble. We're going to get found out. They're going to want to kill us for murder. So they go running off into the, not even woods, but into the hills, basically. And they're trying to escape, but they can hear still that people are approaching them. And they come across what it looks like a Native American burial ground. Purvis, David Arquette, is freaked out and doesn't want to go any further. And the other guy's like, oh no, this is how we get out. We like keep going deeper and deeper, and they're not going to want to follow us.
Oof, bad move.
Until he gets an arrow in the face, and he's dead.
He did.
So Buddy has died, and Purvis, David Arquette, kind of scrambles off, trying to escape, shooting his gun behind him.
Right.
Just trying to get out of there. So we jump forward in time. We see him outside of a town called High Point. And he's looks like he's changing clothes into, I don't know if he stole clothes from somebody or what, but he's changing clothes, and then he buries all his stuff just in the ground.
Right.
And we go into a bar, and Lost Owen Matthew Fox, I think making his first appearance since Lost, except now with a mustache, walks in, and there's legitimately only the bartender, and there's not one person in this bar. So he like orders a drink, and he wants music to be played. So he goes over to an old guy who is legit passed out on the piano,
mm-hmm.
and it's like 3 cents per song, or 10 cents for 3. And they argue. He's like, if I pay you, shouldn't the price go down the more I pay you?
Right.
And he's like, I get tired as I play. So that last song cost 4 cents. So they ended up arguing about that. And then we get another old man.
Lots of old men in this.
Lots and lots of old men. What's his name? Chicory, the old guy who is the backup deputy, sees a new guy. He goes into like the sheriff's office and says, I saw a stranger, which apparently is odd in High Point that there's someone they don't recognize. and he was burying stuff. So we got
Must
to
be
do
up to
something
no
about
good.
this. Yep. So Sheriff Frank Hunt, aka Kurt Russell, aka
Yes.
Ego.
Yes.
I think all the same universe.
AKA Ego the Living Planet.
I think it's the same universe. He looks the same.
He does. He does look very similar. Maybe a bit bushier beard.
Maybe. Hunt says like, all right, well, if he came to town, he went to the only bar we have, I'm sure. So let's go find him. So sure enough, they find him at the bar, and he says his name is Buddy. And basically, Kurt can tell like he's up to no good. So naturally, what do you do when you're trying to get some information from a guy? You shoot him in the leg.
Of course.
Right.
What else?
So he can't run.
Yep. And then we see, John Bruder. John is the name of Bruder, they call him, is Michael Fox.
Hmm.
And he basically says, go get the doctor. Like, he might be hurt because he's got a bullet in his leg.
Might be hurt. Probably gonna die because he got shot in the leg, and this is the Wild West.
Yep. Then we go to, what is his name? The other sort of well-known actor in this movie.
Richard Harris? No, not Richard Harris. The old
Patrick.
guy?
Pat
No.
Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Oh,
Yes.
Patrick Wilson. Yes.
Pat
yes,
Wilson.
Yes. Yes.
We see him. He's at home. Arthur O'Dwyer is his name. And he's just at home resting. He is the foreman of like a ranching company. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's never home. He's with his wife, but he's got a broken leg. So he's like bummed out. But she's like, well, hey, it can't be all bad. You actually are home with your wife for once.
Yeah.
Like this is okay.
Right.
Obviously, but he's just like pent up and doesn't want to be there. Turns out the town doctor is drunk as he always is, so they come get her because she's his assistant, I guess. I mean, she's a woman, so obviously she's not in charge of anything.
Wow.
Not in the Old West.
But they get her to like come and check this guy's leg out. And so Bruder says like, I'll take her, I'll escort her to make sure she's okay in this crazy big town here. But they say like he's in jail and he's got a hole in his leg now. So she goes and she starts to like dig around and try to find the bullet and try to get him going. And we see a stable boy go out back and he's just, tending to the horses, but he thinks he hears something. So he's creeping around, and he opens up the door and it doesn't look like anything. And then you see some shadows moving and it looks like people kind of furiously going around. And all of a sudden he has a bone tomahawk, it appears, slit his throat and then go like through his jaw up through his skull.
So gross.
Very clearly, this dude has been murdered.
He's dead.
Seems
He
like
dead.
he's dead.
D dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet weapon.
So the next day, Sheriff Hunt gets a report of a gruesome murder and some missing horses. So they go and they find the dead body, and then they go into the jail to get the rest of the troops and stuff, and also to see like if this stranger is still there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, no one is there. He's not there. The doctor's assistant's not there. His other deputy, the younger kid that they had, is not there. And all they have is a conveniently placed arrow. These guys can sneak in and out of town without anyone noticing, but they leave one arrow sticking out in the middle of the room. Can't miss it.
They can't be perfect.
That's true. So Hunt essentially says like, hey, we have one Native American in town. Go get him. I'm sure he can tell us exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
So everyone meets up and they go to, what's it called? Like the Drunken Goat or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
The saloon. And they basically call together Bruder and him and the and they end up going to get O'Dwyer and say, like, your wife is missing. You might want to come.
And no one wants to do it because they're like, he's going to be a dick about this.
Yeah. So they bring in the Native American man, and he like looks at it and he says, well, I know exactly what this is. But this did not come from Native American. This came from troglodytes. These people are subhuman.
Troglodytes.
They don't have language, but they eat people. They're cannibals.
Yeah,
They live in the mountains.
Right. They're actually listed as troglodytes.
And the thing, like, our troglodytes were like, but yeah, that was interesting. Is that their? Is that their,
Troglodyte is just, it's a term that means like cave dweller.
yeah? But is that their tribe name, or is that just what they call them? They're just
That's
like,
what the Native American calls them, to try to like say like they're not
Yeah.
Native Americans. They're
Right.
they're like something different.
Okay.
And then essentially Hunt, the sheriff's like, so you're gonna take us to him? And he's like, I will do no such thing.
No.
Absolutely, I
No,
will
no,
not.
no, no, no. Absolutely not.
If you
Good
go,
luck.
you will die too. And then he says, and so Hunt's like, well, how will we know if we find them? He's like, well, you people will not be able to tell the difference between this tribe and other Native American tribes.
Right.
But they are not the same. So he basically says like where they could be found, but then says like, if you go, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
The Valley of Starving Men is what he calls it.
You're going to die.
But they think that they have not only Buddy Purvis here, David Arquette, but they also have Samantha, O'Dwyer's wife, and Nick, the like younger sheriff guy. So Hunt says like, well, I have to go. And then Chicory, his old man assistant, is like, all right, I'll go. And then Bruder's like, I will go. I have the most experience killing Indians.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
killed many Indians.
And then the Native American's like, that's not like a very good brag. And he's like, well, it's not really a brag. It's just a fact.
But he's a full-on racist, as we find out later.
Yeah. Yes. But so and then O'Dwyer wants to go too to find his wife, and they say like, you can't, you're hurt, your leg's broken. And he basically says like, well, I'm going to get my wife, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going.
I can still ride a horse. Like, I'll be fine. And they go to set out, and they ask him, because he's like the rancher or whatever, like, all right, well, where are we going? He's like, this is not the direction anyone ever goes. I have no idea where we're going.
Right. No one wants to go find troglodytes ever.
Yeah. So then we get a lot of old men on horses. It's kind of riding around.
So much just being in the West.
Mhm.
Yep. Horses. There's desert. There's streams for the horses to drink at.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's a
But
lot of
essentially-
limping around.
Essentially, though, we get like the one guy's just old. Bruder, like nobody likes because he's a jerk, but he's good at what he's a good shot. He like is a smart guy.
Super
Uh,
paranoid.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
So they kind of ride around for a while, and they, at night, Bruder sets up what's it called? A perimeter around where they're sleeping. He says, like, anything makes this thing ring, I'm going to shoot it. Like, this is how we stay alive at night.
Was like he in a war? Did I miss something? Was he in? Did they ever mention what he did?
Clearly has something, because he's got a fancy looking
Right.
glass thing from Germany,
Right.
and he
I mean, he knows
is
how
a
to
good shot. Yeah.
knows how to set up a perimeter. Killed a lot of Indians. Like what?
And he does say at one point that like his family was killed by like a Native American tribe.
Right.
Like he watched his mother and his sisters all die or something.
Yeah.
So
there's
and he
reason for
says
him
like,
to be a dick.
so that's why I kill so many Indians, basically. A couple days into their trip, they end up setting up camp, and one of their things goes off. So they point their guns, and it's just a Mexican guy comes into camp and says like, can I like come into the camp basically? And they're like, well, who else is here? and then another guy is like, it's just me and my partner, and they like kind of throw their guns down, but then behind them another guy like sets off one of the traps, and Bruder just kills everyone. And it was like they are scouts for raiders. Like so everyone's mad at him for just and everyone's mad at just shooting people. He's like, I just saved your life, so how about that?
DTA, don't trust anybody.
So it turns out, even though he shot these guys potentially for no reason, that night another group of raiders show up to ambush them, steal their horses, and actually O'Dwyer has to be the one to save the camp because Bruder gets shot but not mortally.
Right.
And then has to put down his horse, which he's very bummed about.
Oh right, yeah. He said no one else would ever get on my horse because they were like they stole the horses, and he's like, no one else would get on. She wouldn't let anybody on my horse.
Very sad.
She doesn't trust anyone either.
DTA horses.
Clearly, they tried to ride her, and then they hurt her when they couldn't. So he has to like put her down. But now we go from old men on horses to old men walking.
Old men walking.
Lots of old men walking.
So
and they
much
basically
walking.
say to O'Dwyer, like, well, now you can't come with us because you have a broken leg.
Right.
So he's like, well.
And an 1880s crutch, which is not very good.
A little Tiny Tim crutch.
Not great for the wilderness.
So they say, like, you can't. He's like, I'm still going to go, so I will follow you. Like, leave stones out, basically. Like, leave me a path, which I think Bruder, one of them actually says, like, is that a good idea if we're going to, like, hunt people down, that we leave a trail of where we've been?
No.
But Kurt Russell, of course, is like, well, I'm going to leave a trail for him so he can, like, find us someday. And they kind of split up. And they go for a while, and after... Oh, it's gory.
Are you?
Sorry, I have it on in the background. It's in the background, and it's a gore scene right now. So they end up like sleeping. They decide they're gonna like sleep during the day now, and so he does catch up to them when they are resting, and they're like getting ready to start up again. He is like just arriving. But they end up getting in a fight between Bruder and Arthur because Bruder makes some comment about his wife. Arthur, whoa.
There's definitely tension between those two because doesn't Bruder show up and Arthur's like, don't talk to my wife.
Oh, right, yes.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah, and so he says something about like he won't like whisper sweet nothings or something if he like finds her. And so O'Dwyer punches him in the face and then falls down hurt. It's like hurt his own leg at this point. And Bruder's like
bone cracking from his leg.
Yeah.
During this whole thing.
And Bruder basically just rubs his jaw and is like, listen, that was years ago and she rejected me anyways, you idiot. So Chicory, the backup sheriff who says like he was like a field doctor in the Civil War. So he's like, I can take his leg off, but that's all we can do for it at this point.
I can cut his leg off.
And they end up like arguing about that, and he says like, no, like set it. Like so he's like, I can set it, but then we just have to leave him, and maybe he survives. I don't know.
Right.
So they do. They set it, and he like passes out. They give him drugs, and then he passes out from the pain, and they just basically like leave him laying there as they continue on their hunt to go get to try to save him.
There's a part where they're like worried that he's drugging himself up to continue on too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, they take the, what do they call it? Tincture or whatever?
The tincture of, they keep taking his drugs away from him, even though he's in obvious pain.
Right.
Because they don't want it to like cloud his mind or whatever, but also I feel like he probably needs it at this point.
Right.
So the other three guys keep walking. Lots more old men walking.
Old man walking.
And they keep arguing about their little telescopic lens thing and who can touch it and who can't. And, but they hear these weird like howls almost that they can't tell if it's the wind or if it's an animal or what it is. But they keep
howls
hearing.
We heard in the first few minutes of the movie.
It's very musical though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so they can tell something's going on, that they're being followed, but they can't see anyone anywhere.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, there are some arrows headed their way. And they essentially kill a couple of the attackers. And now we see it as this weird tribe that they've been warned about the whole time.
Yeah, so the troglodytes are like, they're painted all white. Is that what? They're wearing like bones on them?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
well, they
bones
have-
and dirt and
Not bones not only on them, but in them.
Right.
Well,
We find that out later.
in them. Or,
yeah.
I don't know.
So they end up. Bruder now is seriously injured, and he knows he's gonna die.
Yeah.
So he basically says to Hunt and to his deputy there, like, you guys go, and I'll like fight him off as long as I can. And he does kill another one, but then he himself gets killed.
He gets bone tomahawked.
He sure does.
Says he's going to use dynamite, though, which he does not.
No, he does not get far. He
He
does
gets
not
killed
get.
real quick.
I was expecting like, oh, he's gonna take a bunch out. No, he takes
Nope.
one out and then another. Then he gets bone tomahawked
Yep.
right
Yeah.
in like the face.
That's it.
Yep. So then he dies, and the cannibals end up hunting down the deputies, but they actually don't kill them. They take them alive. They knock them out cold with their weird bone weapons,
Yeah. It's
and
confusing.
then they drag him over to a cave, but it's like way up on a cliff. So you see one. He kind of like howls, and the sound that you've been hearing in the background, he makes it out of his mouth somehow.
Right.
And like a rope comes down, and like clearly this is their home. They live up in the cave, and they drag these guys up to put them essentially in a cage.
Is their whole plan just to eat these people because they messed up Matthew Fox too much, so they just need to kill him? Because I'm confused as to who they kill and who they don't. In the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if they come back to eat him later or what, but
Yeah.
right now they
no,
have
because
these.
his body is still there when what's his
No,
name?
that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Once they're dead, they won't eat them. I don't know.
I guess
Because they also didn't take the stable boy, but then the Native American guy says like, yeah, they won't eat black people.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but
Very odd.
so they pull him up into the cave, and they see Samantha. They found her, and she's still alive. And
Right.
Nick, the other deputy or what have you,
Yes.
is there, and they're
He's
in like
in-
another cave.
He's
They're in another
bad shape.
cage. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nick
he
is
is
real
not
bad.
in good shape. What did they do to him? Did they do anything to him? Did
Yeah.
they-
So that's what I was just watching, was what they do to him.
Well, yeah,
So-
what they do, but before.
Right.
Oh,
Something happened to him.
Something happened. We don't know what, but he's
Yeah.
clearly injured.
Yes.
And
Okay.
David Arquette, who was also abducted,
right.
is already gone. He's dead.
Yeah.
Right?
He
Arquette's
tried doing
gone.
something. He tried like escaping or something.
And they basically just, Samantha and Nick give him a horror story. Like, yeah, these guys are animals. They're like going to eat us. Like, it's going to be bad. And then while they're sitting there, they pull so it's the two old guys in one cage, and then Samantha and the Nick character in the other cage. They pull Nick out of his cage, and he's like, this is like bad. I'm about to die.
And he's not in good shape. He is like groggy and just like, "Bleh."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already in bad shape before this starts.
So they strip him naked. They scalp him, not kill him, keep him alive,
Right.
but they scalp him.
Yeah.
Right
They
in front of
shove-
him.
They shove his head and his hair and his skin in his mouth.
His scalp.
Then they stick a bone through his head to kill him. Then they hold him up by the legs and split him down the middle.
Ooh.
With him at the taint, at the gooch.
Ah.
Gooch down.
And they just basically pull his legs apart like a wishbone.
Oh my God.
And his insides pull out. And that's when I went, "Ooh."
So gross. So gross.
Yep. So things are not looking good there.
Poor Nick.
Yeah. So
Mike
Things
is
are not good
so
there.
phased that he's completely frozen again.
no, did Mike do it again?
He did it again.
Maybe he just wanted to pause it and go watch the movie.
Yeah. Go throw up. You pause it, just go throw up.
I mean, do we wait for him?
No, keep going.
All right. Well, so while this is going on, they basically walk away with his like eating him And
Yeah.
Samantha's like, yeah, that was gross, huh? She's like, I think there's about 12 of them. And then Hunt's like, oh, there were 12. There's only 9 left. You're welcome.
We're good. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
We'll escape.
So then Hunt has the great idea that oh, you know what? Because the guy who needs it most, I took his medicine away from him. I still have this opium here.
Right.
What
the
can we
tincture.
do with opium?
Can we kill people with opium? Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, the girl's like, yeah, of course you can. It's like a powerful thing.
Yes.
So they get some of the troglodytes to come back in. And
pretend that they have like great whiskey or something.
Yeah, so they would pretend to drink it. And so a couple of them passes it around, and 2 of them drink it. One just kind of gets like fuzzy and gets knocked out.
Some of them like spit it out and just like pour it out though.
Yeah, and one drinks a bunch, and then the other one just kind of throws it away. And so the Samantha, like who's watching, was like, "Well, the one, oh, there you are, Mike."
My internet keeps.
This is weird.
Yeah.
You never have internet trouble.
Yeah, I need to take a look at it after this. Good thing I'm not hosted tonight.
Oh,
That would have been bad.
maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. But no, it's my whole thing. My whole laptop fucking up. I don't know. Okay, sorry.
So what we were saying, like, was that after they watch this guy die, Hunt's like, "Hey, I've got this medicine that I took away from the guy who needs it," and they try to poison them with it. And Samantha says, "Well, one of them is gonna die. He drank too much, but the other one, you might get a couple hours, but that's it." And then the third guy didn't even drink it, so he's fine.
Yeah.
We
the
then
worst one apparently didn't drink any.
Yeah, and she says like, "Yeah, he's the real bad one." We go back outside and we see Arthur still struggling along the road, and he's following the trail they left for him because that's what they,
Right.
So he gets close to where they are, discovers like the burial ground area, and he gets attacked by a couple of these guys, a couple of the tribes, and he kills a couple. And then, Mike, this is what you were saying. He notices that they have like things embedded in their windpipe. They have like
Yes.
Yeah, some
that's how
kind
they're
of bone.
making this noise.
Like
So
essentially like a whistle.
Yeah. So they don't talk, but they have like this whistle that they use to communicate across the distances or whatever.
You know what it remind me of is Jurassic Park 3. With the
when
Velociraptor.
he uses the thing to talk to the raptors.
Yes. Yes.
Alan.
Alan.
And then he very quickly realizes that he first of all decides, oh, I must cut that out and investigate. And then he realizes he's like, oh, I can just blow on this like a whistle, and it'd be
Which is fucking gross, guy. Come on.
Yeah.
He just pulled
So
it out of
gross.
a dude's neck.
You just pulled that out of a guy's neck. Come on.
But when he blows on it, another guy comes running in and he kills that guy too. So I guess according to our count, we're down to 5 roughly.
Yeah, so he found a cheat code.
Yep.
Well done. Well done, guy.
So now back into the cave we go, and one of the guys that appears to be a leader like sees his guy dead in the ground, and he's been poisoned. So he and another guy pull Sheriff Hunt out of the cell, out of his little cage there. And they cut his stomach, and then they take the flask that they're all drinking out of, and that's been sitting on the fire.
So
They cut
gross.
the hole in his stomach, and then shoves this thing into the hole,
Oh my god.
which I have to imagine hurts.
Oh
I would
my
imagine.
God. A boiling hot flask going into your body? Yes.
He then takes the gun, which he doesn't know how to use, but very quickly seems to figure it out.
Yes.
He just like, and he shoots him twice, but not fatally, of course, but shoots him like in the arm and stuff.
But does it takes him a minute to figure out how to reload it.
Yes. He shoots him twice. He's not dead, and then he's trying to figure out like why it's not working again.
Mm-hmm.
About this time, somehow Arthur's made it all the way into the cave.
Yes.
He
so
made it.
kills,
How did he get up there with it? You have to get up there via rope, don't you?
it appears that way.
But then he gets up there just
I mean,
fine.
he's got the little whistle though. He's got the cheat code. He has the
Yeah.
neck whistle, and apparently also understands the language enough to whistle up, "Hey, throw me down a rope." I don't know. Or maybe he found a back door. It's a
Yo,
little
guys.
unclear.
Throw me a rope real quick.
Yep. He says it via whistle.
I can't climb a rope now. I can't imagine with a broken leg how you
No.
pull that off.
He
But
was only like 60 feet.
he's a determined man.
Yeah, his wife's up there.
I mean, admirable.
He ends up getting into a fight with one of the tribes, one of the dudes in the tribe, and then the sheriff somehow gets a hold of one of the bone tomahawks and kills the leader with it.
That thing is a very good weapon.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nasty. It looks like it's real heavy.
And he does that with a flask hanging out of his gut.
Yes.
Yep. Arthur at this point sees that Chicory's there, but mostly he sees his wife. And he says, and Arthur, the sheriff, says to him, like, "Well, this is the end of my road. Like, I too am gonna
dead.
die. Like, you can see my insides," which is not a good thing in the 1800s. So he basically says, "You and Chicory, get your wife out of here. Leave me my rifle, and I'm actually gonna kill people just like Bruder did. I'm gonna be just as successful."
Yes.
Is he successful? I don't know.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
he
he
is.
stays behind with his wife, and he basically says, like, when they come back, I'll kill them so they won't come after you. And as they're leaving the cave,
They hear a shotgun.
they hear, oh yeah, I forgot about that. They see like a couple of pregnant women who are like
Right. Because
amputated, and
she says that she describes that. She's like, there's two women that are blind and pregnant. And
their legs have been amputated, so they can't go anywhere.
right.
They're just essentially going to make.
And are we to assume that that's her fate if she stays?
Yeah.
Yes. The thing I was wondering what it's, but like these guys just are gonna like raise children.
Troglodyte children?
How are they gonna raise? Maybe they've got a thing down, but
Well, clearly they've been doing it for generations somehow.
I guess so.
So they start slowly crawling away, and they hear 3 gunshots. So I think we're supposed to assume, oh, he killed the last 3 of the tribe. Like, we're all safe now. We're not going to go back and check and see if he's okay.
No.
We're just going to assume everyone is dead.
Yeah, we're just going to let him die up there. And just keep on going. I do like how Deputy's wife died or something, right? That's a plot line in there.
Yeah, we do see the old guy. He keeps going to his wife's grave.
Right. So there's a cool I guess it's not cool, but an interesting little twist where what's his name? Hunt is like, I'll say hi to your wife if you say goodbye to mine, or something like that. I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Like, you'll check on my wife, and then I'll say hi to your wife. You say hi to mine.
Yeah. Because we're gonna both be dead, so I'll say hi to your dead wife.
Yep.
Whoa.
And then we get some 2 old men and a lady in the movie, walking around.
Just more walking.
Yep.
If you fast forwarded the walking of this movie, it probably would last an hour.
It was okay.
A lot of walking. It was all right.
Walking.
And the problem is, like, westerns are supposed to be like these epic scenes of like nature and stuff, and the scenes of them walking is just not enough of that. No. Not enough budget to pull that off, I don't think. So
yeah.
This movie could have easily been, what was it, 2 hours and 16 minutes? Something like that.
Yeah.
Could have easily been like
105.
75 minutes.
Oh yeah, tops.
Easy.
Tops.
Could have easily cut out so much shit in this movie.
Or
Like
Mike, like you said, they could have just gone all in on the gore if they wanted to make a whole different.
Yeah, I would have
Oh, yeah.
rather that.
they could have like the whole part where the guys come in and he shoots them. Like they didn't need any of that. Just cut that all out. Don't need any of that shit. He's already a big enough dick. We know he's a dick. He doesn't need to shoot other people. Just cut
I
that
did
scene.
forget. I was thinking it was David Arquette we saw get cut in half, but it was not.
No, that would have been fun. David Arquette
Yeah.
was in this movie more. It's an interesting movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Some good actors, but too long.
Oh yeah, way too long. What do you guys
And
think I
I
rated?
thought at least a little bit horror for this time of year, but it really
Not
wasn't
enough
horror
horror.
either. It
Not
was
enough
just like
horror.
2 scenes of gore.
Very good gore when it comes on, but
Yeah.
very gross, but not enough. I would say you rated this on your app, which I never remember, a 1.
1.5.
Oh, I did 2.5.
That's a lot. Wow.
Truthfully, I think I may.
You gotta lower that rating.
I maybe
don't
go
think
to
you
a
do.
2.
A 2 to 2.5, I think, is fair. I think 2.5 is not a bad rating.
2.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not bad.
Uh,
It's just not good.
No, because didn't you say 2.5 is like you could watch it once?
yeah.
That's what this was. This is a watchable.
A
movie.
one-off. A one-off.
This is a watchable one-off.
It's a
Yes.
one-off. Are you gonna force us to watch that Adam Sandler movie next?
I watched it this weekend. Yeah, I'm just gonna force you to watch it.
No,
Because you already
there's no
watched it this
wrestler.
weekend?
There's no wrestling connection.
Shaq's
Shaq.
in it.
Shaq is not a wrestler.
I mean, he
Shaq's in
has
it.
wrestled. That's better than Kevin Nash, who wasn't in John Wick 2, but we still watched it. Just because Kevin Nash was around. in
David
John Wick.
Arquette wrestled.
David Arquette is a world champion.
He's a champion. Shaq was never a champion.
Shaq could have been if he wanted to.
And he backed out of the Big Show fight.
Right, he never fought Big Show. Wasn't that a bet at one point on the show?
I forget.
I
Didn't
think it
one
was
of
a
you
I
prediction.
feel like we may
There
have.
was some kind of bet involving Shaq wrestling
I
his
feel like
match.
that was a prediction. I don't think that one was a bet.
That was just like a prop bet.
I think that was
I
one
thought it
of
was a
year-
longer,
No, maybe it was.
maybe not. All right, so what is this thing called again?
UB Halloween.
Oh my god, it's bad, right?
It's all right. You just watch it.
So it's bad.
I really don't want
It's
to
all
watch
right for an Adam Sandler movie.
it. I really don't want to watch an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, I just watched him. Oh no.
More gore.
He's about to get some hot metal shoved in his stomach.
Oh wow,
Oh, there it is.
gross.
Oh.
I guess I should save this for when we actually watch this Adam Sandler movie. But Adam Sandler, like, was he actually just as bad back in the day, and we were just children, so we like Billy Madison, or are those movies actually good?
No, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore are good movies.
This is maybe the closest thing.
Like,
to
is that just
those.
nostalgia talking, or
Yeah,
are those movies any good?
they are much funnier than
They
a
are
lot of
funny.
his-
I feel like
Yeah.
they're funnier than everything else he's done, but
That's why he named his company Happy Madison. He knows.
But the thing is, how do you feel about? How do you feel about Waterboy?
It's
Meh.
okay.
Because
Don't-
how do you
don't love
feel
it.
about Adam Sandler doing
oh
a
no.
voice? The entire
Are you telling me
movie?
Waterboy voice is in this movie?
Kind of.
Oh my god.
So you're making us watch this only because you've already watched it and you don't want to have to do it again?
Yes, 100%. But he did
It's a
say it
Halloween
2 weeks.
movie.
He said it 2 weeks ago, to be fair. He said, I'm
He
going to
did.
make you watch this movie.
You may like it. You may like it. It's got
I'd
some
rather
funny
watch the
bits.
Big Show show, if I'm being totally honest.
It's got some funny bits.
It does? It has something funny.
I chuckled. We chuckled.
You
a few
chuckled at
times.
something?
Yeah,
Wow.
we chuckled and chortled.
You chortled. Okay. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. How much does Shaq get? How much screen time does Shaq get?
I'm not telling you.
12 seconds?
We'll see. You'll see.
No, it was not a full 12 seconds.
We'll see.
Not a full 12.
We'll see. Dan Patrick's in it.
Of course he is. It's a Sandler movie. He's in all of the Sandler movies.
This was
after.
filmed. This was filmed in Massachusetts.
He's Patrick is in every Adam Sandler movie after like 2004.
And he yep, he's in it. Yeah.
Of course he is. He had
How
he's
much
some
Rob,
funny.
what's his name, is in it?
Who?
Rob Schneider.
Oh, he's in.
I know. How much is he in?
You'll see. You'll see.
Schneider's got to be in it.
You'll see.
Schneider's got to be in it. Wow. What's the plot of this thing? Do we have?
No, it doesn't
Do we
matter.
even need to
Just
know?
watch it. Just watch. There's some funny bits. You'll like it.
Oh, we'll like it. Is it good? What did you rate it? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you yet.
Don't reveal that. Don't reveal that
He
yet.
rated it a 1.
Yeah, don't reveal that yet.
No,
please.
I rarely rate anything a 1.
Oh, come on. There's got to be some ones out there.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh, there is.
You just
They were-
choose not to pick movies that are ones? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, did I rate Hubie Halloween?
Where's Hook?
Oh, I don't.
Zero?
Hook's that on here.
Unrated? Not rateable.
Hubie. Did I even rate it yet? Oh yeah, I won't tell you what.
No, don't tell us. Don't tell us yet. All right, that's it. That's what we're watching next. Dear God in heaven, help us all. Peace out.
Yeah.